Hey garden lovers, I am sure you are loving your time in the garden. There is nothing like a July garden, although too hot, but summer veggies are reaching their peak and there is so much beautiful color everywhere. It's crazy how quick this season is going by. We have a couple months of intense heat and then the next thing you know, we'll be getting ready for fall. So this month we are planning our fall garden. And in this video, we will share some of the varieties that we are starting now. Plus, there are still lots of heat-loving veggies that can be sown in July, like corn, beans, pumpkin, squash, zucchini, Swiss chard, collards, cucumbers with some protection, some mature chili pepper transplants, and some varieties of tomato transplants that you could pick up at your local nursery can still be added to your garden. Plus, July is lots of harvesting and preserving the food we grow. You can see here we have lots of beautiful green chilies that we need to harvest, roast, and freeze. And the tomatoes are ripening all over the place. This one, Gin Fizz, is in my top 10 favorites. Delicious, great producing, huge tomato slicer. Follow us on Instagram for more harvest clips, and there will be more harvest clips at the end of this video. Oh, and I forgot to mention watermelons. Thankfully, there are some late season watermelons that can be started. We had a watering issue in our main melon bed. For some reason, the water got cut back dramatically. It ended up being a sprinkler head issue. So most of this, you can see here, this watermelon plant is stunted, seems to be bouncing back a little bit, but you could see some of the vines, leaves are stressed out compared to this watermelon plant over here is doing wonderful. Let us know what challenges you're experiencing in the garden this season. We try to keep a few different plants growing in different areas because it seems like challenges always come up. And in a little bit, we're going to share a variety that we just recently planted. It's a late season watermelon seed. It's a watermelon bush, actually, called Sugar Baby Bush. And we're currently working on a garden tour video and a video that's going to feature some of our favorite chili pepper varieties. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and bell to be notified. This is one of our favorites this season that we will mention in that upcoming video. It's the Hungarian hot wax chili pepper. All right, on to what we are planting, sowing, and growing in July. We are direct sowing some beets. We like to grow baby beets and early wonder tall top. Baby beets are a fun variety. They grow about the size of a large radish. And we just sprinkle some seeds in a few different areas, cover them lightly, make sure they get a regular water source, and don't worry about thinning. They just kind of push each other out of the way as they grow. As I was checking out this tomato, this plant is not producing very well, so I was pretty excited that I'm actually getting a couple tomatoes. This baby tomato hornworm caught my eye. So along with all the plants being in full swing, pest activity is in full swing also. Really need to get out the black light and start hunting these guys down. I ran into this guy as I was eyeing these beautiful, delicious Sweet 100s. Wanted to snack on them and then noticed one of the green ones was getting eaten. So it's time to get more serious about getting out and doing some pest patrol, getting the black light out at night and locating these guys and then throwing them in the chicks run. They absolutely love tomato hornworms. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's time for us to start planning our fall garden. So we put our garlic order in with Territorial Seeds. We've been very pleased with that company and the garlic cloves that they sent us. We've been growing their garlic for the last few years, But another excellent company is Keene, spelled Keene. So this year we harvested 2 hardneck varieties, Music and Dugansky. Look at the size of this beautiful clove. We love Music and Dugansky. We also grew 2 softneck varieties this year. We grew Susanville and Silver White. We want to make some braids this year for storage. And we ordered more Susanville, Dugansky, and Music, but unfortunately Silver White was already sold out. So definitely want to get your garlic clove order in as soon as possible because the great varieties sell out quick. And of course this time of year we are succession planting more kohlrabi. Love snacking on these guys. They're just like apple size. They're called the vegetable apple. And we've been direct sowing since pill bugs have been managed, but look at here. Those little white butterflies have been flying around, laying their eggs, so lots of little baby caterpillars all over the place. Our bird families have definitely been snacking on them and feeding their young, but there's just too many right now, so unfortunately we're going to have to break out the neem oil, and that will get them under control. But just part of July, pest management, as I mentioned earlier. But definitely if you're not growing kohlrabi, give it a try. They grow super fast. Very fun to grow. We'll be succession planting kohlrabi over the next several months. I have to stop here and feature this beautiful bachelor button. I was mentioning at the beginning of the video that there's just nothing like a July garden with all the color. And this is one of my favorite bachelor buttons at the moment. Incredible color, and we have lots and lots of seeds to harvest. And we are succession planting more cucumbers. Here are a few varieties that we like to succession plant. Now that we are in the middle of summer and the intense heat is here, we absolutely must use a shade cloth for protection. We're using a 40%. This will protect the plants from the harsh UV rays. This keeps the cucumber plants comfortable as long as their roots get plenty of water. We started a couple plants a couple months ago right up against this cottage wall, thinking it gets morning sun, it will not see the harsh afternoon sun, but it ended up still being too hot for the cucumbers. So we got a shade cloth that we're going to put up here, and this time they should do much better. We'll go ahead and sow these 3 seeds and trellis them. And on the topic of shade cloths, as I mentioned, we're using a 40%, and we're also using the shade cloths to protect our tomato blossoms from the intense UV rays. We're in the upper 90s just about every day now, so these cloths provide a great layer of protection while still allowing enough sunlight through to ensure that the plants get the sunlight that they need. You can see here with the 40%, the tomatoes are ripening with no problems. And when researching, most growers seem to recommend not using over 50% shade cloth for tomato plants. Well, I'm here. I'm going to get this bed uncovered, and let's check out all of the beautiful tomatoes. This season's garden tour, we're not going to stop by all of our growing locations, so we probably won't make it to this back bed, so we'll just feature it in this video. Here we have some beefsteaks growing, looking delicious. Over here is a celebrity, and it's unbelievable how many tomatoes are on this celebrity plant. Wow, outstanding, definitely growing a celebrity next year, next tomato season. Back here is a cross I got last year. I call it the new black beef, and it was a black beauty growing next to beefsteak. It's going to be fun to taste those guys. Earlier I mentioned that we needed to sow some more melons, and this is the variety, Sugar Baby Bush. It's a great variety for late season planting. We sowed some seeds on 7/8 in our garlic bed. This is where we grow our garlic every year, and we've got this window of opportunity. We harvested the garlic, and we won't be planting any cloves until the fall. So this bed is open. It's got lots of organic matter in the soil. It gets consistent water. It's the perfect spot for watermelons. They'll be very happy growing here. And they're growing really fast. Here it is the 23rd. Seeds popped up a week later. So this is a little over 2 weeks growth. It's a great variety. Give it a try. And here they are today, growing like a weed. And in preparation for fall, we're sowing some pea seeds. Normally, we wouldn't start them until next month, but we got an alert from Territorial Seeds and figured, give it a try, let's see how it goes. It may be a bit early for growers this far south, but we'll give it a try. If it doesn't work out, we're going to be succession planting anyway, and we'll be starting another round next month. This month we're sowing more kale varieties. We have kale growing at all kinds of different stages all around the garden. We like to grow dinosaur, of course. Most of the kale is eaten by our chicks, but I like to snack on it as well. Love the blue scotch and Nero. If you haven't tried 1,000 head kale, it's incredible. Gotta give that one a try. And like the Red Russian as well, and Black Magic. We are starting and transplanting more heat-tolerant lettuce varieties. We're also doing a lettuce experiment this month. I know some of these perform very well in Southern California, and some of these are new varieties that are claiming that they will perform well in heat. And I would really like to narrow down to about 5 of our favorites that we could just succession plant over and over again. So we're going to test 17 varieties, see which ones perform best, and those will be our staple lettuce varieties. And of course, we love trying new varieties. So we'll always be trying new varieties to see if there are any that perform better than the 5 that we're going to stick with. This month we are sowing some broccoli seeds in cells for a late fall harvest. Here are some fun varieties. This one is basically a broccoli stalk, which is my favorite part of broccoli. And then of course I love purple sprouting broccoli. They're little florets. We are trying this cauliflower variety that says it is the best for growing in the south. It withstands heat better than other varieties. And of course this beautiful purple of Sicily. And we are starting some Brussels sprout varieties. I'm not a big fan, but my husband does cook them to where they taste pretty good. This variety says is ideal for first-time growers, and basically it says plant mid-summer and make sure to keep the ground moist. And we got the rubine, which is purple Brussels sprouts. And we are starting more red cabbage. Got a delicious Slovenian purple cabbage salad recipe. July is when our fruit trees are producing, so we typically cover them with bird netting to protect them from the terrible little monsters, the Japanese beetles. They love this tree and it's like a horror show. They burrow in the nectarines, so we would normally cover them with bird netting, but we recently heard about bag-a-bug. So we've got some of those propped up around the property. We'll see how they do with these Japanese beetles. But you could see here that this tree is just too heavy with fruit. Gotta harvest a bunch of it and start preserving it. One day when we're in semi-retirement, we will be able to care for our crops better. For now, we have it propped up this branch so that we don't lose it. We do keep all of our fruit trees dwarf-sized except for our Santa Rosa weeping plum because it's easier to care for. And got a little surprise over here. I heard some tweeting. That sound in the background is an upset birdie parent, so I'll make this fast. Oh gosh, and I just noticed the praying mantis. I didn't notice him when I was filming. What a great spot to make a nest. It's going to be fun watching these little birdies fly for the first time. It's okay, Mama. It's okay. You're a good mama. You're a good mama. And lastly, we are starting some more sunflowers. They love the heat, and we got a lot of heat. And we've got a lot of birdies that love to eat them. So, gonna sow some seeds. Love this variety. It's so beautiful. Gonna be saving lots of seeds from this one. You could see the bee is loving this one too. Up next is more harvest videos, and that's it for now. For more short videos on how to grow food in a hot deserty climate, hit the subscribe button, and remember, something doesn't come from nothing. I hope you guys enjoy your week and enjoy your garden.